In this next section, we're looking at top three must reads. These are books that I definitely would recommend that you make time to read. There's a lot that you can learn from what these books offer. So, we're looking at The Alchemist, we're looking at The 5 a.m. Club, as well as You Can't Hurt Me. You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, as well as Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist. So these are absolutely amazing reads. I cannot stress enough how well they're written, the message that they carry, just a lot that you can receive from this. They totally would touch you in some way or another. So we're going to look at a summary of these three, which I call my top three must reads for this session. I will share another, maybe another series of top three must reads, but let's look at these ones in this section. Okay, so starting off with The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a novel written by Brazilian author Paulo Coelho. It originally was published in Portuguese in 1988, and it has since been translated into numerous languages and has become a global bestseller. So the novel is a philosophical work that blends elements of adventure, mysticism, self-discovery, like I said, it's an absolutely brilliant read. So the setting of the book, The Alchemist, is set in a fantastical world that combines elements of medieval history as well as mysticism. So the story begins in Andalusia in Spain and unfolds as the protagonist embarks on a journey across the deserts of Egypt in Africa. So the main characters in this novel, we have Santiago. You'll hear a lot about Santiago when you read the book. He's a shepherd, and he's also the protagonist of the story. So Santiago is a shepherd who dreams of finding a treasure at the Egyptian pyramids. So his journey becomes a quest for self-discovery and understanding what we learn as the language of the universe. Amazing stuff. We also have Melchizedek, who is an old king, but this is a special king. This is a mysterious old king who appears early in Santiago's journey, and he introduces the concept of personal legend to Santiago, and he also provides guidance on pursuing one's dreams. He also furnishes Santiago with two stones, right, which should help him make a decision, right? And so if he, touches the one stone, it should, help him with making a yes or a no kind of a decision, and it'll help him, to read the omens. Okay, so some things are good omens and others are bad omens. So this is sort of like a guiding pair of stones that he gives Santiago. So we also look at the crystal merchant. This is a character that Santiago meets while working on Tangier. Now, the crystal merchant represents someone who has abandoned his dreams but is inspired by Santiago to pursue them once again. So, as he learns of Santiago's story, the crystal merchant is sort of reminded of the dream that he had, and how he had abandoned his dreams because of family commitments. He had to take care of his family, he had to be there. He also has kids now, so you can't really do certain things, you can't really travel the way that he would have had he not been committed to his family life. But he envies Santiago because now Santiago is free and he has this dream and he's pursuing his dream. So that's something that we learn, and sort of a thought provocative moment or a section, right? As you read that part, you sort of ask yourself, am I the Santiago in this situation, or am I the crystal merchant? Am I pursuing my dream, or have I abandoned my dream? Have I achieved my dreams? Quite an interesting thought process that the book leads you to. Then we also read of Fatima, who is a woman living in the desert oasis. Fatima becomes a love interest for Santiago, and she symbolizes love and the importance of balancing personal dreams with relationships. Because ultimately, Santiago sort of involves her in his mission, right? He wants to achieve his dream, but also return for her. Okay, so she sort of becomes part of, this dream that Santiago has, and he acquires as he has embarked on his journey. We also learn of the Englishman, who is a fellow traveler on the journey to find the alchemist, and he is focused on acquiring knowledge and mastering alchemy. So it's quite interesting when you read of the Englishman. He's busy with books. He's reading through. His journey is more on reading these kind of books and wanting to acquire this information through reading the books. So he's actively reading the books and is absolutely focused on reading those books. And then we also come across the alchemist, okay, as you can tell, a very important, part of this book or character in this book. So this is a wise and mystical figure who helps Santiago on his quest, and he teaches Santiago about the soul of the world and the importance of listening to one's heart. So, in summary, this is what we learn from these characters, and these are the. Okay, so let's look at the summary of the section here. The story begins with Santiago, who is a shepherd in Andalusia, and having had a recurring dream. He has this dream that keeps coming up. He keeps dreaming the same dream, and it sort of moves him that it must mean something, right? And this dream. Is leading him to something that he feels he needs to accomplish, something he feels is a purpose in his life. So this dream is about finding a treasure at the Egyptian pyramids. So he meets Melchizedek, the old king, who tells him about personal legend. And so the realization of one's destiny is what Melchizedek explains to Santiago, right? If you are able to realize that destiny, you've essentially met your personal legend, or you have become your personal legend, right? Or reached the level of your personal legend. And so Melchizedek encourages him to pursue his dream. Okay. Yeah, sort of telling him that, you know what, there must be a reason why you're having this dream, especially recurring, right? And if you believe you can accomplish it, you can accomplish it. You need to believe in yourself. You need to pursue this dream. And so Santiago decides to sell his flock. Remember, he's a shepherd, and he embarks on a journey to Egypt. Along the way, he encounters various characters who teach him valuable lessons. For example, all of it, the money that he had got lost, because he made poor friendship choices. I mean, he met people when he arrived in Egypt, and he trusted them with his money, and they took all of his money, and that was a lesson that he had to learn immediately when he started this journey. And so now he had to start afresh with no money. He had to now make money, and it was now going to prolong the days that he had planned on venturing on this journey of his. So a lot of lessons that he kept learning along the way. And so in Tangier, he works for the crystal merchant, okay, in his mission to acquire now some money, and he learns about the importance of pursuing one's dreams. Remember, the crystal merchant had dreams, but he had abandoned his dreams. But now Santiago, is sort of inspired as he speaks with with the merchant that, I need to pursue my dreams, even though I'm currently experiencing a setback. I need to find my feet. I need to continue and pursue my dreams. And so in the desert oasis, Santiago meets Fatima and he falls in love. The journey takes a mystical turn as Santiago encounters the alchemist, who helps him understand the language of the world and the soul of the world. It's quite interesting. Santiago learns about the principle of the philosopher's stone, and he learns of how it can transform base metal into gold, and how it is a metaphor for transforming one's life. Okay, so turning your life, from just rusted metal, from whatever situation you were in, turning it into gold, into something that you can be proud to display and share. Okay. And so, as Santiago and the Englishman continue their journey, Santiago faces challenges, okay, a lot of challenges. Some of them are even life threatening because now he meets some warriors in the desert. So, including tribal warfare and the threat of the desert, ultimately he learns that the treasure he seeks is not a physical object, but a spiritual realization. And so the story culminates at the Egyptian pyramids, where Santiago discovers the treasure that it is buried at the very place where his journey began. Okay, is it is quite interesting because now ultimately when he learns of this is what the dream was saying. Oh wow, this is where I was supposed to have gone, and it ultimately leads to where his journey had began. And so we look at some themes in this book. The first, personal legend. The novel emphasizes on the importance of pursuing one's personal legend or destiny. Each individual has a unique path in life that leads to fulfillment and happiness. So, also, we learn of the language of the world. Santiago learns to understand the language of the world, which is the universal language of signs and symbols, right? Being able to read omens, being able to know that this is a good sign, this is an indicator that I must stop. This is a warning from the universe. Okay, this is an indication, a sign of approval from the universe. Okay, so certain signs and omens which the universe can share. And if you pay attention, you can observe these this language of the world. So by paying attention to omens and signs, he navigates his journey quite successfully. Okay, he learns early to pay attention to the signs and the omens. Also, we another theme is alchemy. The concept of alchemy is explored as both a physical as well as a spiritual process, because again, the Englishman wants to meet the alchemist because he wants to learn the physical aspect of turning metal into gold. And and Santiago doesn't really know about this, but he eventually gets to meet it as well, and he gets to learn of how he can physically turn this metal into gold. It's quite interesting. Also, the transformative process, right, of turning one's life into gold. Okay, so Santiago learns that the philosopher's stone is not just about transforming metals, but about transforming oneself as well. So certain fears had to be conquered, right? Certain realizations, courage, risk taking, and just there's a lot that we learn of and we appreciate. Okay, so it actually ends up being a personal journey because it's very thought provocative. The more you read the book, is the more you think, to place yourself in the journey of Santiago. Also, The Soul of the World, the novel introduces the idea that everything in the world is interconnected, and individuals can tap into the soul of the world by listening to their hearts and pursuing their dreams. Okay, so if you want to accomplish things in the world, you actually can. Tap into the soul of the world, right? Be one with, the soul of the world. So, in the end, Santiago's journey is not just about finding treasure, but about self discovery and understanding the profound truths of life. The Alchemist encourages readers to follow their dreams, to listen to their hearts, and discover the magic that exists within, especially within, but also around them. Okay, so moving on to our second book, we're going to look at David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me. So You Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Master your mind and defy the odds. Okay, this is actually an autobiography written by David Goggins and co-authored or rather with Adam Skolnick. And it was published in 2018. The book chronicles Goggins' incredible life journey from his troubled childhood to becoming a Navy SEAL and later an ultra endurance athlete. And a lot of discoveries that he made along the way. Okay. And ultimately, we also get to see how if you put your mind into something, anything can be possible. It's quite interesting. Uh, Also, we look then, okay, the background and the early life of David Goggins. He was born in 1975 in Buffalo, New York, and his early life was marked by poverty, okay, an abusive father, and racial prejudice. He struggled with a learning disability, which led to being labeled as dumb. by teachers at school and classmates. So you can imagine his childhood was not really the best. School days were not awesome for him at all. And so he grew up facing adversity, and his childhood experiences became the foundation for his future mindset. Okay, there were a lot of moments where he had to shut himself out from what people were saying. You can imagine being bullied as a kid, having to endure being unappreciated. All of those things were building up on the mindset that he later developed, right? The undefeated mindset that he later developed. We also learn of his military service despite initial setbacks, including multiple failed attempts to join the Air Force and Navy due to physical fitness challenges. Remember, he was fat, as he described himself. He was fat. He didn't like his body. He didn't like how his fitness level, and so he could not really join and be part of the military. So Goggins did not even allow that to stop him. He kept on, trying harder, and eventually he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, um, the Tactical Air Control Party, the TACP. Later, he sought admission to the Navy SEAL program, graduating from SEAL training, the BUDS in Class 235. And Goggins served in the SEALs and the U.S. Army Ranger School, earning a reputation for his toughness and determination. So I can imagine they were actually tested in rough ways, right? And in some cases, uh, the initiation for the newbies, all of those stuff, right? To test him and to sort of even spite him in some cases, he endured all of that. And when we say that he endured, to gain that reputation for toughness and determination, it was not easy to gain it. He earned it, and it was absolutely hard. And then we also learn of ultra endurance challenges that he, partook in and he excelled in, right? After leaving the military, Goggins transitioned to ultra endurance events. He set numerous records and accomplished feats that pushed the limits of human endurance, including completing the Badwater Ultra Marathon, the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc, and the Navy SEALs Hell Week. Now, not once, the Hell Week a couple of times, even these marathons, ultra marathons, a couple of times, three times in 1 year. Okay, it's hard enough to join and even come close, but he managed to go into these three times in 1 year, especially Hell Week. Okay, he would try again, he would try again. And his ability to endure extreme physical and mental challenges earned him the title of the toughest man alive. I'm talking about, entering a cold ocean while it's absolutely cold in the morning, and being made to run there and trying to stay underwater for a lengthy period of time with certain obstacles that are being set, having to run and having to wake up and having to, like having that pressure and people pushing you to the limit constantly, in this hell week period. But he endured all of that. It was absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. When you read his book, you really can't put it down. When you start, you can't put it down. So, mindset and mental toughness as well. The central theme of the book is Goggins' emphasis on developing mental toughness and resilience. He shares how he overcame childhood trauma, racism, and physical limitations through discipline, okay, self motivation, and an unyielding commitment to self improvement. So, Goggins introduces the concept of the accountability mirror. Okay, so it's quite interesting when he talks about this accountability mirror. He says you look yourself in the mirror and what you see is what you should actually, describe. Don't say, oh my goodness, this is so pretty, whereas you don't like. Be frank, okay? He looked himself in the mirror. He didn't like what he saw. He described frankly what it is that he did not like, you know and he actually was quite brutal, but it doesn't help if we sugarcoat certain things that we don't like about ourselves, especially things that we can do something about. Okay, if you want to work out, if you're seeing the need for you to lose weight, for example, or gain muscle, or tone up, whatever, be frank and say, I don't like this. Okay, I need this to get out. I can't slack. Talk to yourself. If you have slack, go back and be that voice that talks to yourself and hold yourself accountable for what it is that you're not doing. Okay, that's what he did. So that accountability mirror is not one of those, a friendly parent that comes and says, "Oh, my little one, you tried." No, no, no. It's that teacher, that coach that comes and says, "You could have done better. You said you do this. Why didn't you do it?" Right? And so that's what he introduces, that you speak to yourself and be frank, right? Did you do what you said you will do? If you did not, why not? Okay, and you need to hold yourself really accountable for that. um and then also he used this, by the way, himself, and he held himself responsible for his actions, and he used that to drive his personal growth. He also talks of the 40% rule. Goggins introduces the idea that when the mind thinks the body has reached its limit, it's only about 40% of what it's truly capable of. So at the point where your body says, ouch, it's only at 40% of what you are actually capable of. It's just that your mind will protect you at that level. It doesn't mean that that's the level, that's your peak. No, that's just where your mind will protect you. Okay, remember, your mind does not always work, to help you accomplish and defeat certain things. It actually is there to protect you and safeguard you and keep you in a comfort zone, which you should be out of. So, by embracing discomfort and pushing through perceived limits, individuals can tap into their actual full potential. Okay, so tapping into your full potential requires that you go past that limit of comfort, that limit that says, I love it here, or out. This is the most that I can do. No, no, no. It's definitely not the most. It's the most of what your mind wants you to believe, but it's not the most that you can do. And then also we look at taking control of of your identity. Okay, the book discusses the importance of taking control of one's identity and rewriting the narrative. So Goggins encourages readers to confront their fears. Okay. Yeah, like deal with it, acknowledge your weaknesses as well as transform challenges into opportunities for growth. Okay, do you have a challenge? Acknowledge it as an opportunity for growth. This is where you can grow. Okay, how are you going to make that happen? We also looked at the calloused mind. Goggins introduces the concept of the calloused mind, emphasizing that mental toughness is developed through consistent challenges and hardships. By willingly facing adversity, individuals can strengthen their minds and become resilient in the face of life's difficulties. We look also at the cookie jar. The cookie jar is a metaphor Goggins used to recall past achievements and moments of triumph during challenging times. By reflecting on past successes, individuals can draw strength and motivation to overcome present obstacles. So, also, then the final message, the book concludes with Goggins' message that anyone can change their life by mastering their mind, by embracing discomfort, holding oneself accountable, and pushing beyond perceived limits. So, individuals can achieve remarkable feats and defy the odds. It was absolutely amazing when I read the book and I read that this guy, David Goggins, goes out and he participates in all these ultra marathons, and at the end of it all, right, he discovers that he actually has a hole in his heart. Had he known of that hole in the beginning, he wouldn't have participated in those marathons. But now that it got discovered later on, and he looks and he says, but now this hole, it never prevented me from participating in all of these marathons. It was quite interesting. But um we learn also how sometimes when you have certain limiting beliefs or certain thoughts that that trap you, that tell you that you can't do something because of this, they have a way of actually stopping you from doing something that you actually can do. Because David Goggins is a perfect example. He was able to do something which, had he known that he had a hole in his heart, he wouldn't have run. He wouldn't have known what he was able to accomplish. But him not knowing, right? Him not having that as a limiting belief, him not having that as a point that traps him down, was able to prove to us that it is possible. Once again, that book is absolutely amazing. And so, You Can't Hurt Me is not just a narrative of physical accomplishments, but a powerful exploration of the human spirit's capacity to overcome adversity and achieve greatness through mental fortitude. And the book serves as an inspirational guide for those seeking personal transformation and the realization of their full potential. And so the last or the third of my top three must reads for this session, The 5 a.m. Club. Ken, the last but definitely not the least book is The 5 a.m. Club. Own Your Morning, Elevate Your Life. Okay, now this is a book by Robin Sharma. This is a self help book written by Robin Sharma, published in 2018. And the book presents a method for personal development and achieving success by starting each day at 5 a.m. And hence the name, The 5 a.m. Club. So here's a detailed summary of The 5 a.m. Club. We look at the plot overview, the 5 a.m. routine. So, the central theme of the book revolves around the importance of waking up early and establishing a morning routine that includes exercise, reflection, and personal growth. The 5 a.m. club concept is based on the idea that the early morning hours are the most productive and conducive to self improvement. So, for example, the characters in this book, the characters, there's a narrative that is followed of the journey of a struggling artist named Spellbinder and two successful individuals, the entrepreneur and the artist, right? Or the artist, okay? So it's the spellbinder, the entrepreneur, and the artist. These characters meet at a luxurious resort where they learn the principles of the 5 a.m. club from a quirky billionaire named the Tycoon. Now it's quite interesting how they meet this billionaire. They don't meet a billionaire; they meet a hobo, right? They meet a homeless person, and this person says, "You know what? I can." He tells them what he can do for them, and they look at him and they think, "Oh my goodness, what can we learn and receive from this homeless person?" And he tells them that, "You know what, if you meet me at this time, well, if you meet me tomorrow in this place at 5 a.m., I can take you." He tells them where he can take them, and he describes this place. And so these the artist, for example, and the artist and the entrepreneur must trust this homeless person, and they indeed make it the following day at 5 a.m., right? And they arrive, and this man is there, and he takes them onto this journey, and it becomes quite an interesting experience because now they see this person for the billionaire who he is, but he's a kind of billionaire who doesn't mind sometimes lying on the floor to remind himself of the importance of being humble. He's got this free kind of lifestyle, but he teaches people. It is quite an amazing journey that they go on to. And also, they learn early on to remove certain judgments from people, right? Don't judge a book by its cover. And so there's a lot that they learn just following this billionaire who just spoils them, and he teaches them, and there's a love story that develops between them as well, which he encourages, and there's a lot that, a lot of fears that they come across, a lot of challenges that they help each other with. It becomes an amazing journey, right? As you read and follow the narrative of the 5 a.m. Club. So, some of the things that we learned from this is that 20-20-20 formula, triple 20 formula. Sharma introduces the 20-20 formula as the key to the 5 a.m. club. So, the first hour involves 20 minutes of intense exercise, 20 minutes of reflection and planning, and 20 minutes of skill development or learning. So, this formula is designed to optimize physical, mental, and emotional well being. Okay, so focus 20 minutes uninterrupted in whatever it is you'll be doing from these three categories. We also learn of the four interior empires. Sharma discusses the concept of the four interior empires, which are the mindset, the heart set, the health set, and the soul set. Okay, all of these empires need to be well nourished, they need to be well balanced. So he emphasizes the importance of nurturing each of these aspects for holistic personal development. Okay, if you are not well nurtured physically, right, you won't even enjoy the mentally, you won't even really enjoy the soul set. So if you have the mental and the physical and you don't nurture the soul set, again, you will not be at peace, right? All of these are important and they should all be nurtured in an equally balanced way. So we also look at the twin cycles of elite performance. Here, the book introduces the idea of twin cycles, comprising the twin cycles of monasticism and the twin cycles of Picasso. So these cycles represent the balance between intense focus and strategic renewal, reflecting the importance of both discipline and creativity in personal and professional pursuits. Okay. So again, Sharma introduces the concept of these twin cycles of elite performers consisting of learning and recovery. Okay, he argues that peak performance is achieved by alternating between focused activity, right, high energy work, the learning cycle, as well as periods of rest and recovery, the recovery cycle, which is where the innovation and the ideas and the creativity, can roam. We also look at the 10 tactics for lifelong productivity. Sharma provides practical tactics for lifelong productivity, including focusing on the vital few tasks, embracing boredom, using the second wind during the early morning hours, and adapting the 90-90-1 rule for deep work. Okay, so 90-90-1 rule for deep work. Okay. So then the victory hour as well. The victory hour is the first hour of the morning, which should be dedicated to personal growth and self investment. And it involves the 20-20-20 formula and serves as a powerful tool for setting the tone for the rest of the day. And so the victory hour is again from 5 a.m. until 6 a.m. The book emphasizes the importance of the first hour of the day, referred to as the victory hour. During this time, individuals engage in a 20-20-20 formula, which is move for 20 minutes, engage in physical exercise to boost energy and alertness, as well as reflect, spend time in silence or meditation for mental clarity, as well as grow, engage in learning and personal development activities. Okay, so we also look at the essentialism mindset. Sharma promotes the mindset of essentialism, which involves focusing on the most critical tasks and saying no to non essential activities. This mindset ensures that individuals direct their energy and efforts toward high impact goals. Okay, so focus on what it is that you need to accomplish, your high impact goal. And then the four focuses of history makers. Sharma outlines the four focuses of history makers, which include the monomaniacal focus, which is maintaining intense concentration on a single task, right? Like a maniac of some sort, but on one single task. Also, daily improvements, consistently striving for personal growth and progress. Okay, yes, you're good, but where can you improve, right? How can you get better? As well as daring leadership, embracing challenges and leading with courage. Daily practices, establishing positive habits and rituals, such as the 5 a.m. club routine. Okay, and then we look at the habit installation protocol. To help readers implement the 5M club principles, Sharma introduces the habit installation protocol. This protocol includes focusing on the 66-day rule for habit formation, tracking progress, and making small adjustments to stay on course. So, some key messages here, or some key takeaway messages here. include the morning routine and productivity. Okay, the book underscores the significance of a purposeful morning routine in optimizing productivity and setting the stage for success, as well as balancing discipline and creativity. Sharma emphasizes the importance of balancing discipline and creativity in integrating focused work with strategic renewal for sustained success. So, personal development, the 5 a.m. Club is a guide to personal development, encouraging individuals to invest in their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well being. And then there's habit formation. The book provides practical insights into habit formation, outlining strategies for installing and maintaining positive habits. And then there's mindset shift. Sharma advocates for a mindset a shift toward essentialism, focusing on the vital few tasks that contribute significantly to one's goals. And so, in summary, the 5 a.m. Club is a motivational and instructive guide that encourages readers to transform their lives through the power of a disciplined morning routine. It offers practical strategies, actionable insights, and a compelling narrative to inspire individuals to own their mornings and elevate their lives. I mean, as you follow the story, you get to see, the story of these two, the artist and the entrepreneur, because they're learning these principles from this billionaire, and these are principles that he already lives by. Okay, they're part of his routine, and already that on its own is motivation and inspiration, to follow the same path to potentially also becoming billionaires, with that abundant mindset that we all can achieve. There's so much to go around. We all can have a piece of the pie of success and prosperity in the world if we do our part diligently to take it. So, this is what the 5 a.m. Club is all about. Once again, these are the three books I absolutely recommend in this session. To share your favorite one and how it has transformed your life as well.